I was contacted by the festival asking me if I wanted to come along because the film that I've done, Shadow Dancer, is having its British premiere here this week, so I think they thought it would be a good idea to tie it in with me coming to give a talk to some composers. I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, I had a rough idea of the kinds of people coming. I know when I first started doing film music, the only information I could find really was things that I'd read, and this was before the internet was really up, so I saw some quite obscure old film score books. I mean, one of them shows you how to score a cockerel crowing in the morning with an orchestra, so it was quite hard to get information about how people approach writing music and the whole, you know, the whole interaction of sound and film.
I'm a kind of emerging composer at the moment. Most of what I've done is writing either concert music or music for theatre, and I've always really been interested in getting into film and never really was sure how to go about getting into it. So I just applied for this, sort of not really having any idea whether I had any hope of getting in, but I was fortunate to be taken, and it's been a fascinating week so far, really, really interesting.
I think it's been really interesting just to hear composers being, quite a rare occasion to hear composers being very honest about sort of their setup and the way that they do things and the relationships they have with directors and producers and editors. And it's also been really interesting to speak to some sort of very renowned directors and hear their process in terms of how they choose composers, how they choose music in general for the soundtrack. And then also we were given the opportunity, probably the main highlight, was the opportunity to score a portion of a clip from a feature film. And the director came in and spoke to us about the different styles that we'd gone for and how we'd sort of engaged emotionally with the scene, and then gave us feedback. And then we got to see the original clip, and it was really interesting to see how everyone had done sort of different versions and his response to them. So that was probably the main highlight.
Well, we had quite a free format session where I played some of my my clips that music that I'd written through the years, and then we just had a conversation and saw where that took us, and it took us everywhere. We went right from how to get a job to what good styles of music, to how you might use orchestras. We went everywhere. We did the whole world of film scoring in an hour and a half.
It's an opportunity. It's a way of getting people together, because I mean, for a film composer, a lot of the time you're working on your own. You're quite sort of your main interaction was with the director, editor, producers, and the musicians that you end up working with. But you don't really spend a lot of time in a way producers do, sort of out in the world meet and greet people. So it's nice. I think that's why it's hard for people to meet composers who are actually working, because they're either working or they're doing other things, and it's quite hard to actually interact with them. So I think something like a festival is a perfect place, because people like to come together and talk.
I think it's incredibly important that programs like this are used, because it allows composers to kind of fully develop in an environment with other composers, which is incredibly rare, and it adds a very sort of social aspect to a very sort of solitary job. I also think it's tremendous fun, and it's just an incredible sort of way to learn.